everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today I'm doing a book review on Fairest by Witemeyer. So thank you to Baker Publishing and Bethany House for sending me a copy of this book to read and review for you. So this one is the first book in the Texas Ever After series. So this is a fairy tale retelling on Snow White. So it is honestly very reminiscent of Snow White. So if you're familiar with Snow White, it's basically a historical retelling set in the West. So it does follow a very similar timeline and everything to Snow White, but set in the West. And I really enjoyed the characters. I really liked the villain. She's honestly she's beautiful, but she has that, like, of course, vain feel about her, as well as kind of I guess she's more of a seductor in this book. So there are parts in there when she's trying to, well, I won't say what she's doing, but it doesn't get into any details or anything. But she is definitely a very evil woman who ends up hiring this woman named Penelope Snow White. And so she ends up hiring her as kind of like a maid doing all of her things. And so it follows along where, of course, if you know Snow White, the evil lady in the book ends up pretty much trying to get rid of her and making the huntsman try to get rid of her. Well, she ends up in the woods, and she actually ends up escaping because the huntsman, of course, helps her. And then she ends up meeting these 7 old men and this ranger. And let me just tell you, the old men are just so sweet in this book. Honestly, I feel like the old men kind of made the book, if I'm being honest. I think they were the star of the entire book, even though technically Penelope Snow is and the ranger. But I loved the 7 old men in the book. They were so cute, and they definitely had the same characteristics as each of the dwarfs in Snow White, but I just thought they were so sweet, and just the way they loved Penelope so much throughout the book. And it had a really great mystery throughout. That was kind of the difference between, like, the Snow White fairy tale and this book, is kind of that mystery aspect of who is doing all these crimes throughout Texas and other parts of the country. And so the ranger is kind of on the trail of trying to discover who's doing all these crimes. Is it linked to this troupe of actors that Penelope Snow was working with? So trying to figure that out, and trying to figure out love as well in the mix. So definitely a really, really sweet love story. Definitely check it out if you want a sweet romantic fairy tale retelling. And if you're not into, like, you know, like kind of like that, like, I guess, fantasy feel to fairy tales, this is definitely more of like a historical contemporary feel to a fairy tale. And it was really sweet. And the dress that's in the cover is actually mentioned in the book and how she made it. So I thought that was really cute and really fun. So I hope you'll check this book out. I will also put links to where you can purchase it too from Baker Book House. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video.